welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and update on some of my more recent painting projects. Been a little while since I did this, and it's got a little bit carried away, and I'm trying to kind of remember which figures I've painted and haven't shown off. So I probably missed a few, but anyway, I did show the first 6 of these Roman, early Imperial Roman figures from Aventine, because I was trying out some new techniques, and I've been doing this a fair bit. In fact, I think Leslie, one of my regular viewers, commented recently about, oh, it was different. You were using a different style for a particular painting job, Dom, and actually, I don't really have a style. Other than the fact I try and do it as easily and quickly and efficiently as I possibly can. And so I play around with things, some of which work, some of which don't, some of which I persist with, some of which I don't, and it's very much on my sort of gut feel as I'm painting, really, and I look at the figure. For whatever reason, I decided to try something completely different with these Romans, and I've never really painted Romans before, but I managed to get hold of this paint from Citadel. It's Canoptia Alloy, I think that's what they call it, and I use that as over a white prime. Normally I do light grey prime, but this time I did a white prime. Use that alloy over it, then washed it with Cryptic Armour Shade gloss from Citadel, and then I dry brushed it with some silver, and then I used Nuln oil over the top as well, just to take the colour out, and then I highlighted it a bit with the gold, just in the nice bits, and I kind of really pleased how they came out, and I carried on the theme quite regularly through the figures, so I used different washes and different just different processes for each of them and each of the bits of colour, and actually they came out really nice, so I'm quite pleased with them. Whether or not it was worth all the extra time and effort to do, I don't know, but they are lovely figures, these Aventines, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to try something a bit different, because they are such lovely figures, and I'm going to continue. I've got a load more of them to do, and I'll work my way through them. Whether I'll use them a lot or how I'll use them, I don't really know, because I realised I started this with these as early Imperial, because that's what Aventine do, and then all the other ones I had in the box of shame are Cesarian Romans, which is a completely different period, so they can't really work together, but never mind. Sometimes you just have a bit of fun painting, and that's what I've done with these. So that's them done. 24 Roman legionaries, early Imperial, completed. So talking about Cesarian legionaries, this is a group of 8 plastic warlord Cesarian figures that won't stand together properly because the tufts are too big, but never mind. I think were these given on a magazine, Games Illustrated magazine? I can't remember. But I just thought while I was in the mode of painting Romans, I'd paint these fellas up, just to be different. I did them with black uniforms. Don't know whether they had that in that period. Probably not, but it looks cool. I didn't have any more transfers, so I did black shields as well, just to keep it in theme as a sort of menacing unit. Quite pleased how they came out, actually. I know Warlord Plastics Ancients get a little bit of a bad press sometimes, but these are really nice figures. I quite enjoyed doing them. Good fun, really good fun. So that was another 8 Romans done. So I also picked up, it was a shop closing down, or at least selling off all their Warlord stuff, and I picked this pack up. It's 2 packs actually. I think this was a solitary guy. It's a Primus officer. And then these were a group of 3 Optios, and I think they were like, I don't know, stupid money, really cheap. They're metal figures, and I thought, well, sod it, I'll paint them up, even if I sell them on eBay, I'll do them. But now I seem to got into doing some Romans. Thought these would be quite useful. Now, these 2 figures are pretty pretty terrible figures. They're not very good at all. Whereas these two I really quite like. Like the animation on this guy with his stabbing, with his gladius stabbing through. This guy sort of with a right skull on his face charging forward. So I've done these two as officers, and these two will just sort of slip in the back ranks as Optios. That's the theory anyway. So yeah, that's them. 4 more done. And heaven knows where these came from. But these are Warlord Scorpion ballistae for the Cesarian Romans, and they're resin, Warlord of resin, and I just thought it'd be fun to do. Again, wrong period for my Aventines, but I might not be too sniffy and might use them at the same time because I don't know. These look cool. Really quite pleased with how they came out. I wasn't entirely sure which way round to put the heads, because this bit where the actual sort of mechanics, if you like, of the ballistae is one piece, and then the rest of it is another piece. It wasn't. It looked like it should go around this way because it seemed to have a recess on the back side. Also, the bow staves here on the bow here definitely bend that way. But when I saw a picture, in fact, if you look at the picture that comes with the box, it seems to be the other way round. But this worked, so that's the way it is now. But they're nice little models, and despite the fact they're Warlord resin, I think they actually were quite fun to paint up. Quite enjoyed doing them. There you go, more Romans. So I show this one for my mate Ken, who's obviously, if you listen to this channel, you probably listen to the Plastic Crack podcast on a Monday night. And while I was away on holiday, gave me absolute abuse for showing off this wine cask from Warlords without a base and without just sort of sitting there on the tabletop. And he said it wasn't complete, cheeky bugger. And so I had always intended to base it up when I could find some suitable draft horses. These came from Steve Barber, which was one of the suggestions on the night. Somebody suggested that was a good place to get draft horses. So I've painted them up, harnessed up the wine or water wagon, and stuck it on the base, and is ready to go out and be used in probably my sharp armies, I think. But stick that one in your pipe and smoke it, Ken. So next up, a unit of 24 Brunswick Napoleonic Lieb Regiment, or Lieb Battalion troops. An elite regiment of the Brunswick force. Some of these got a bit bent somehow, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, these are metal front rank figures. Really, really pleased with how these came out. I've got a thing about the Brunswick force. Anybody who watches the channel will know that. So I based them up for black powder primarily. I mean, I could use them for sharp practice as well, but I've got plenty of individual figures for for sharp practice. Whereas I'll probably start doing some black powder once the man cave is finished. This guy seems to have fallen over. Not sure how that happened. It's obviously had a bit of something's bashed into them, because a couple of them have got bent, and this guy's got bent over. That's a bit annoying. I wonder how that happened. Anyway, all done, nicely painted. Just needed a bit of repair work on the back there. Also, a bit of terrain. I can't remember where. I think these are Sarissa, but I'm not entirely sure. I got some these emplacements. They're supposed to be gun emplacements, and I had an idea to use them for my planned Russian Napoleonic army, summer one, because there is a rule where you can have their heavy guns emplaced. These are MDF, but also the banking, you can't see it on this one, but on this one the banking is actually cardboard. So I've used a lot of mud and what have you to build it up, and then tufts and a bit of Geek Gaming basic material to make that up. These are wooden, the gabions, and I've just put some glue in the top and then poured in some sort of gravelly stuff that I had from basing. and I think the effect's quite good. I've actually got 2 of these and 4 of these. And the beauty of these, they can be used pretty much any period you would want. So useful for the terrain box. So I showed off the Caballero 3D printed Spanish knights that I purchased. I've absolutely had a joy painting these fellas up. This is the first 6, obviously. I've got another 6 to do. And I may have ordered a few more because they're such beautiful, beautiful figures. The animation of them is extraordinary. The detail of them is unbelievable for 3D printed. In fact, my only slight criticism of these figures is the fact they don't come with any base. And they've got such dynamic horse poses, it's actually quite difficult to stick them down onto a base. I base them individually. I'm going to give this guy standard. I'm just waiting for some more shield transfers to come for the other 6, and also a banner or 2 to put into the unit. And once I do, he'll be the standard bearer. But I just absolutely loved painting these. It's been so much fun to do. I spent a lot of time on them, for me, not for some of you guys out there that spend months painting one figure. I spent several days painting these 6, and absolutely loved every second of it, which is very, very unusual for me. You know, I've always said I'm a bit more of a get them out onto the table kind of painter, but occasionally I will get the bug with a particular figure, and these ones certainly did. A bit like I did with the Romans, I used a variety of different washes, and used some different sort of tones of colours, even mixed a little bit of colour to get different variations for the different layers I wanted to put in. And yeah, even put some layers in, which I don't normally do very often. So just absolutely love these to pieces. Really, really become a firm favourite of mine. So much so I've actually joined Caballero's Patreon because he does every month. He releases new figures, and as a Patreon you get access to them. And I just think these are just fantastic. I'm not sure how I'm going to use them, but brilliant. So next up, this group, or 2 groups really for sharp practice anyway, 2 groups of Russian Napoleonic Jaeger. These are metal figures from the Perrys. Yeah, I'm sort of, as you know, if you've been following the channel, you know that I've been sort of working through very slowly a summer, well, loosely called summer Russian Napoleonic army, so sort of 1812, but in the early part of the campaign, so that they're not all wearing winter get-up and they're not all got snow on the boots sort of thing. So it's taken me a while because I kind of got bored painting on the green, but I painted these 12 up for CrackCon a couple of weeks ago, because I was going to do a combined Russian-Swedish army in that, and I realised I didn't have enough single-based light infantry, so and I had these Jagers ready to do, so I knocked them up, and they're dead simple to do. They're green all over with black belts, and that's a lot easier to do for some reason than the green all over with white belts and white trousers that the musketeers have. Not much to say about these fellas, just they're done. They're not my best work, they're not the best Perrys, I don't think, but they're pretty good, they'll do. So talking about not the best work, these are Warlord Metal Russian Napoleonic Command Pack, I think it is. I think they all come together. So you've got the colonel on his horse, an officer wearing a greatcoat on foot, and a drummer. Yeah, they're really not very good figures. I mean, this guy is just so weedy. It's a very dated sculpt, I would say. The drummer's not an awful lot better. Had really fiddly arms to fit, really awkward. This guy, I mean, he's not the best model, but he's okay. He'll do. Bit disappointed, if I'm honest, with those 3. I'm not even sure. I think I got them when I was ordering something else from Warlords, and it just made up the postage to get free postage, and I think that's why I got them at the time. They've been in the stash for quite a while. I'm not sure how much I'll use them, but commanders are always useful. I wanted a single drummer because, again, if I'm playing sharp practice, it's often an add-on that you want to add to the army to increase the command radius of your commanders. And single commanders are always useful anyway, so that's them done. So talking about the weird and wacky, this is down to Metal Mercs. Sean, he gave me these figures at CrackCon. They are arranged that when he ran First Corps, I showed off the Napoleonic ones of these, but basically they had these bears available for wargamers to take home for their kids, or politically incorrect, for their wives. And they're really, really cool. If you followed his channel, you'll have seen he put up an entire army of legionary bears and Gallic warrior bears, which he says he's going to use for infamy. They're just classics. So I painted the legionary up as a giant panda, and this guy just as a normal sort of brown bear with stripy trousers, because why not? And they're just a bit of fun. They'll sit on the shelf in the new man cave and have pride of place. So thanks for these, Sean. You madman. So talk about madmen. I think being around the guys on the Monday night on the plastic crack is obviously having a huge impact on me, more than I ever realised. Because I would never have done a figure like this in the past. This is, I think it's a demon. I bought literally 3 figures from a Kickstarter that a company called, what are they called? Here we go. Crippled God Foundry did. I don't know why, I just thought this this demon would be absolutely fabulous. It was pretty reasonable price. It's a solid resin. It's a big figure. I mean, look at it compared to that Perry. It's a very big figure. Had to assemble it. I've discovered, rather late probably, liquid green stuff, and that was really useful to get around the gaps where the joins happen. So there's a join around the tail, the legs, and the arms and the wings are all separate, and I just used the liquid, and the head I think was also separate, and just used that liquid green stuff just to sort of remove the obvious gaps. I just really enjoyed painting this up. I undercoated it as normal. I used a real mixed bag of paints, and it's sort of, a lot of them are merged into one at the end, which I'm sort of happy with the effect, but also slightly disappointed the sort of almost the work that I put in hasn't shown up. The base colour was Gryptic Hound Orange, and then I've used a new wash that I picked up. Oh gosh, what have I done with it? So this one, this is shade Fugan Orange. So I used that over the top, and then had a bit of a dry brush with red. There's some blue in there, and then ultimately used Nuln oil over the top, and then a very, very light dry brush. And I kind of like the effect. You can sort of see the different tones in the wings. Well, I hope you can. I think it kind of works. The face is, yeah, I mean, it's just got lots of teeth and these horns, which I think kind of came out pretty well. I've just, again, various different whites and off-whites with some washes over the top and then a bit of dry brush. The base, needs a bit of touch up there. The base is just, it came with the big round base, and then he's mounted on all these skulls. And then I've just used, what should I use? Vallejo textured earth on the bottom, just to build it up, and a couple of sort of weird looking tufts. and I think it's quite good. I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it, or whether I just put it on eBay and sell it, but it was fun to do. See what the plastic crack is doing to me. Historical gamer gone rogue. So let's get back to something a bit more sensible, inverted commas. This is another Caballero miniatures 3D printed knight. This, I think they called it the Portuguese knight of the 13th century. So he's the wrong era for my 11th century Normans and Sicily project. But he was just such a wonderful figure. I just thought I had to have him. He's got, I mean, like all these Caballero figures, tremendous animation. The sort of this guy's, the horse is sort of backing away as he swings his mace over the top of the head of the horse. The horse is obviously barded, got the chainmail and the metal, the plate metal on the head, and then padded armor at the back. The padding, I can't say that I did all that freehand. Well, I sort of did, but the sculpting actually has all the padding in there. So all I had to do was put a wash over to bring out the black edging, and then just successive reds and whites just to sort of build up the individual colour on the different checkers. And I think the effect is pretty good. I'm quite pleased with how they came out. It's just a wonderful figure, absolutely lovely figure. Someone said on Twitter or on Instagram, I think, that I should just put it in my army anyway, and I might yet do that, because it just seems to be the perfect thing to put in my force of Normans. He just sort of is a bit wrong era. Either that or I have to build a 13th century army. Oh my god! Actually, I suppose he could join some of my Baron's War stuff. Maybe I could do that. Anyway, wrong period again. Never mind. Anyway, so plenty of things to show off. As always, been quite busy with the painting projects. Lots and lots of things on the go. I just thought I could have Demon against Knight. Yeah, as always, plenty of projects on the go, keeping me busy. I was hoping I'd be in the man cave or the stronghold or whatever I'm going to call it very soon. I think it will be. The painters, actually, as we speak, the painter is painting the building, or the inside of the building. We had a bit of a snafu with the flooring which we'd had. There was something faulty with it and it wouldn't lay properly, so it had to be all replaced, which is frustration, which meant the flooring didn't go down as planned, which means the shelving won't go up as planned. So it's all just had a bit of a knock-on effect, but hopefully very shortly I'll be in there, and the next few videos that I show off some of the work I've been doing, painting work, not real work, will actually be from the new stronghold, hopefully, but we'll see. But anyway, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're getting some gaming in, and yeah, hope your projects are coming along well. I will see you soon. This is Dom signing out. Toodaloo.